What does the exiting of Joe Biden from the presidential election and Kamala Harris being the Democratic nominee tell us about the Democratic Party?
And so Biden, I think was sensitive to sentiment within his party. And Joe Biden's a party man. He's been in politics an awful long time, and he's always sort of tried to be right in the middle of whatever the Democratic Party stands for at the time to sort of keep everybody in the Democratic Party as happy as he can. And so he went along, even though she had criticized him in a debate, when they were running against each other for the nomination. He didn't know her well personally at all. This wasn't necessarily his, him picking his best friend or anything like that. But he, at the end of the day, took very seriously pressure from within the party to pick her to be the running mate. And that's really the story of how she wound up on the ticket. And similarly, the events of the last few weeks, which have culminated in Biden stepping aside sort of unprecedentedly in the middle of the campaign, has been a story of Joe Biden ultimately listening to a lot of other people in the party, and ultimately deferring to their judgment, even against maybe his own initial wishes. That a lot of Democratic members of Congress and members of the Democratic National Committee became very concerned after the debate with Trump in June that Biden was simply not up to running against Trump, that he wasn't going to win, and that he might lose badly and might take a lot of other Democratic candidates on the ballot down with him in this November. And so the story of how we wound up, somewhat unexpectedly with Harris as the nominee is really a story of Biden initially, of course, resenting and being very upset and defensive about this criticism, but ultimately yielding to the calls from within his own party to step aside. And Harris, of course, was there as the sort of logical heir apparent.